Hi, I'm Shane. I use they, them pronouns, and this is Fearful Symmetries, the Trail of Cthulhu campaign by Steve Dempsey. This game was organized through the Open Hearth gaming calendar. If you want to find out more about that, check out openhearthgaming.com. Um, Jose, who normally plays with us as Sybil, isn't here this week. Sybil, I think, has rushed off to deal with some Carrington family drama, or I guess we'll find out exactly what when Jose is back. But I'll get the other players to introduce themselves and their characters. Puckett, can I start with you this week?
Yes, my name is Puckett. I use he, him pronouns, and I'll be playing Jack Taylor, who is a blues musician somewhere between down and out. He has a rather significant opium habit. He tends to make hasty decisions without considering consequences because what are those? And, well, things are starting to catch up with him a little bit. And, well, somebody just stole the contract that he signed for his soul. So now he has to retrieve the Atlas of Hell, which is a fiery skull that harms people who come into contact with it, but can deliver pretty much anything you ask for. So, you know, good times, good times.
I mean, to be fair, Jack did steal the contract himself before it was stolen from him. He's
I
not.
retrieved it. There is a difference.
Okay,
I am
interesting.
a party to that contract, so retrieving it is not theft. Tobias taking it is theft.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you tell it to the judge. The
There's no
Stephen,
judge. There's demons, but no judge.
Stephen,
I
do you
mean,
want
there's
to?
just the one at the heavenly gates. That's all. Anyway,
I'm
yeah,
not too worried about that. I don't anticipate. Yeah, I'm not too worried about that.
okay. Um, yeah. Hey there, I'm Steven, he, they, and I am playing Owen, he, him. Um, Owen is a communist organizer, a poet. What was happening last time? I was there was a troll. I may have hooked up with him one time when he wasn't as trollish. Um, yeah, that's more as we establish Anthony's thing than mine. Um, yeah. And I was going to murder a Nazi, but now I want to get people's opinion. Like, would it be better to befriend this Nazi so that I can murder a more important Nazi, I guess?
Well, maybe we'll come
Oh,
back
that's a
to
real
that.
dilemma.
Let's get through our introductions first, and then we can talk about which Nazis you should be murdering. Um, T, do you want to tell us about you and George?
Yeah, or at least which order, right? Um, yes, George is a research fellow. I got it without even having to rummage, in natural history at Oxford. Um, had spent a long career debunking spiritualists and is currently absolutely shimmering with magic after having uh, re led the ritual to realign this node and wrest it from the clutches of our mysterious enemies, I guess. We don't really know that much about them, and we had a chance to learn more, and George turned it down. And has recently turned the key of being systematic, and it is deadlocked, and she is now intuitive. Uh, and we'll see how that plays out.
Cool, thank you. So just to touch on a rules thing before we get started, I wanted to let you know we talked about difficulty for application tests last week. I added in that in the Spirit Guides tab in the Keeper just some like criteria for setting those difficulties, so it will be consistent, including that magical items are twice as hard. That is gonna, I mean, it's not going to be impossible, but it's going to make it like more of an investment uh, to obtain a magical item by application. Um, and not
Here's
a
probably
rules
what
thing.
Jack wants to know. Are the crown jewels magical?
I guess the only way to find out is to try and I don't even know what the verb is, applicate them. Um,
Expropriate.
sure. Um, and not a rules thing, but I also added some NPCs to the NPCs tab, if you want to check that out. Um, so, Stephen alluded to this, but where we finished up last week was that you had just befriended the troll of Sutton Park after attuning to a place of power there. It is early evening. Um, I don't know. Stephen's description of what Owen is describing, maybe I had misunderstood where we were going here, but Owen has a sort of appointment to meet up with a young fascist named Little Malcolm at Birmingham railway station. You know that Little Malcolm is going there to pick up a package from some sort of courier and take it to his boss, Trevor the Knife. Um, and yeah, it sounds like you want to have some discussion about like planning that or thinking about what it's going to look like.
Yeah, because here is my thinking. Either I murder him and take the package, and we get whatever package was meant for the knife, or I help him take the package to Mac the Knife, and that gives us an in with Mac the Knife that we can eventually use to murder him. Those are my two lines of thinking.
Anyone?
Yes.
I am checking the calendar to see how many sessions we have left, unless folks know off the top of their head.
I think it's
Uh,
four more after today.
uh, hmm. And if we want to do one more node, those are taking us at least a couple sessions. Skip the mini boss. Just go straight for the big guy.
I mean, I am perfectly happy not attuning to another node and just dealing with our bullshit for the rest of the series. Um, you know, communist organizing, Nazi killings, stealing from gangsters, contracts for souls. I'm good with just like focusing on that stuff because, I mean, where even is Lizzie at this point?
Yeah,
Mom's
because
not here.
the thing is, I have a lot of violence related points to spend, so I could probably get a critical here and avoid any blowback from this murder and get the thing. So,
Well, how about you kill that dude, get the thing, and then we go kill the other dude?
He doesn't know where he
okay.
is.
Yeah.
Well, we could find out where he is from the guy before we kill him, right? Let me check lines and veils. Is torture lined or veiled?
I mean, I'm not sure, but Owen has a lot of points in intimidation and could probably just get the information out of him.
Yeah, uh, uh, torture's veiled, so we're fine.
I guess I'm also curious about like what the murder plan would be because like Birmingham railway station is not an obvious place to commit a murder without like, being without many
Well,
witnesses.
yeah, but I know how violence works, so we take a I get him to take a detour down this alley.
Sure.
It's at
Okay.
that point,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure. Um, All right. So it sounds like you're coming to a plan. I guess my next question would be, are you going alone to this meeting at the train station? Are you going to bring Jack or George as backup, or are they going to wait in the alley, or are they off doing other things? Like, what is
Okay.
that plan?
Do I take the woman and the person of color to the meet with the
Listen,
Nazi?
I didn't
I can
mean like
be I can be at
alongside
the
you.
station
Yeah.
busking, you know.
Let's just get this middle-aged nerd in the mix. She'll hit him over the head with a book.
Slash, like, how copacetic is George with like discussions of like murdering people?
Hmm. Probably not
In fairness,
very.
they're
Yeah, so
Nazis.
I think I know enough. I think I probably don't bring this up with George.
Yeah. Yeah. I think she would probably George the character would probably try to talk you out of it.
Jack, the character, on the other hand, would say, "How many?" Besides, Owen has had Jack's back. Jack has Owen's back, especially considering that this is empirically a social good. Like sometimes You add through subtraction. And in this case, we are doing that very thing. Someone is getting subtracted and it will add to the social public good.
All right. So if Jack is back up, does that look like he's, lurking somewhere at the station to come and support if that's needed? Or does it mean he's waiting in a dark alley that Jack is going to uh, bring little Malcolm down? Like, what is actually going to happen?
Well, Owen, what do you think? Do you want to have me busking at the station?
Sure, that
Give
makes
you another
sense.
excuse to kick the shit out of me?
Yeah, and maybe you can start tailing us as we leave, so it looks like someone's following us. Because that would make it better. Obviously, we need to lose this tail. Let's duck down this alleyway.
100%. I'm on it.
All right. So I'll get Jack to make a stealth test, just difficulty 4 to be like reasonably inconspicuous at the station.
So
Or
really quick, considering that we attuned to the ley line,
Mhm.
do we refresh our abilities?
No.
Okay,
Once we wrap up this sort of Birmingham section,
okay,
everyone will refresh.
Yeah, my
okay.
my 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 bullshit power gaming is exactly the reason we're doing this.
Okay.
Because I have
So
like so many points I can spend like right before a refresh.
so Shane, you called for a roll. What roll? What
So,
are we rolling with?
assuming, uh, I don't know, you talked about like getting the shit kicked out of you again. So maybe you're just
Yeah.
happy for everyone to see you. But if you want to be reasonably concealed at the station and be able to follow discreetly, then a difficulty 4 stealth test.
Alrighty. Do I even have stealth? Oh, I have plenty of stealth.
I mean,
Okay.
you're a hiding and running type.
Um, so just so I make sure I understand this, to be sufficiently discreet that it looks like I'm actually attempting to do a good tail, I need to hit
Yes.
a, I need to hit a 4. Okay. Well, I will
Or I
go
guess
ahead
I
and
can't set the difficulty. Shane does. I don't know why
Yes,
City's doing.
so I
that's
will
right.
spend 3 points, which basically guarantees me a success,
Hmm.
and that's a 5.
Nice.
But I
All right.
spent 3.
So yeah, you're busking somewhere like within eyeshot of where Owen is meeting little Malcolm. But not so close that little Malcolm is going to notice because he has seen you before when Owen threw you out of the bar and all that. Um, George, do you want to establish what you're doing while this is going on?
Oh, I think George is back in her hotel room frantically taking notes. Um, there's like a little bit of a manic air to her. And I think a good half the notes are just like drawings.
Hmm. What is she drawing?
Yeah. She's trying to capture, first of all the sort of senses and um, I'm not going to rummage for them, but all the sort of little snippets and facets and little flashes that she got when connected to the node of all the various other parts of the network. Um, but I think mostly she's trying to capture the feeling of so much magic all at once because even our initiation was not this
Hmm.
transformative, I think, for her. I think this is the first time she's ever felt that she could actually be a good magician, and it's lit a fire under her.
Yeah, I love that. All right. So Owen, you meet little Malcolm at the railway station just before 8. The train pulls in. Um, little Malcolm is sort of, at a particular carriage where he's expecting the courier to step off, and you recognize the courier as soon as she steps off the train. She's wearing her trademark men's suit jacket over a long flowing dress. She's carrying a small box about the size of a cigar box, obviously the item that she's here to deliver. And it is Frida Webb, Moses Sabini's right hand and lead assassin. She was there at Sabini's office when you and Jack delivered the Atlas of Hell and George, so she probably recognizes you too. And little Malcolm immediately starts walking towards her. She notices the two of you. She shifts her stance a little. You can tell that she's got two guns under her jacket. Um, and she sort of barks at the two of you. Why are there two of you? I'm supposed to meet one man. And little Malcolm looks a little bit disoriented by this, a little bit thrown. What do you do? You're muted.
Oh boy, things got complicated. Um, hmm. So let's see. She has the box.
Hmm.
She's holding the box, right?
Yes,
Okay. So she at least has to drop it to grab the guns,
that's true.
which she'll probably do if when things turns violent.
Um,
How far is she from us at this point?
I mean, just a few meters away. You've got a rating in Streetwise, so you know that she has a reputation as like dangerous with those guns.
Mm-hmm. And she's a few meters away. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm thinking of what the best way is of closing the distance here because she doesn't care about this guy. But if I throw him at her, she's a few meters away, so I could probably ram him into her, right?
I mean, you can try.
I feel like that's the best bet of like getting in close. 'Cause like even if she does want to shoot this guy, even if she does want to shoot this guy, that I feel like well not wants to, but doesn't care about if this guy gets shot. Pushing him into her rather than holding him hostage seems the better bet here. Um,
Well, that sounds like an
yeah, that's
athletics
what I'm gonna
test.
do. Oh, athletics, okay. That's good because I'm very good at athletics. Oh, I still have 1 point left. Wonderful.
Well, it's just a difficulty
Ooh,
four.
yeah, let's see. Do I have anything else here that I could bullshit my way in? Could I use my violence here? I
Yeah,
have 1 point left of violence.
yeah, that'll give you 3 points to put into an athletics roll.
Okay. I'm gonna also spend my athletics. I want to I guess I'll hold on to that last one. I'll hold on to that last one just in case we need it.
Sure.
I feel like there's a chance that me and Jack are gonna have to make a run for it, and I want to have one left.
All right, so before you roll, I just want to establish the stakes for the roll. So on a
Okay.
success, and I think you're guaranteeing yourself a success, she'll
Yeah.
be, you'll knock him into her. You'll have a sort of moment of opportunity to shoot or take whatever action, flee, whatever you want to do before she can draw her guns. On on a crit, she will drop the box as well.
Ooh. Let's see. A 4 would give me a crit on. It would
A
need to be
four
an
or
8.
higher.
So yeah, 4 higher. Okay, I'll try. I'll spend that last point too.
All right.
Just we'll see. Oh, nope, just a 6.
All right. So it's like I said. So Melk stumbles into her. She's, disoriented. She's reaching towards her. She lets go of the box with one hand and she starts reaching inside her jacket with the other. But you have a moment before she's able to draw. What do you do? Well, sorry,
Um,
let me hold that for a sec. Jack,
okay.
you've seen what's happening here. You've seen who's happening here. You're quite a distance away. Um, are you doing anything or what are you doing?
Considering my role was successful and the intent there was being concealed enough that dipshit could see me, but not the courier. So, Owen could drag him into an alley and murder him. Am I currently concealed from Frida?
Yeah. So the stealth roll was enough that you haven't been seen.
Okay.
Do you want to keep it that way?
You know, wise men say only fools rush in, right? So Owen has Owen's been a mensch to me. I'm gonna try to help Owen. I'd like to roll athletics to try to get over there.
So I don't think you need to roll for that. It's you can start running towards them, and there's probably like one possible exchange between the two of them before you arrive.
Okay.
All right, Owen, what are you doing? Oh, you're muted.
I'm gonna pull her in like I'm embracing her, but I'm
Hmm.
actually also grabbing for her guns.
Okay, interesting. Is there a skill? I mean, I think that's probably just a fighting role, but is there another
Yeah.
skill that seems relevant? Not
No,
really.
I think it's fighting.
All right. So I think it's quite difficult to get the guns out of the holsters while she's reaching for them. I think that's got to be difficulty six to get one gun. I don't know. I'm not really sure what I think the difficulty should be here. Yeah, let's call it difficulty six to get one gun. A crit, you can get rid of, like maybe not seize both of them, but at least knock one of them to the ground.
Okay. Let's see. How many points do I have left to spend here? I used up my violence, used up my athletics. Let's see. I'll spend 5 of my fighting here.
Hmm.
Roll +5. Let's see how this works. Oh, should have spent one more.
Um, all right. So you seize one of her guns. Um, and I think that what will she do? Where are her stats? Um, all right. So I think she's gonna like tackle you, try and knock you to the ground so she can wrestle the gun back off you. Um, and I guess that is a fighting test for her. Maybe we establish that's more of an athletics thing. All right. Her athletics are not as good, but she's gonna try and knock you to the ground. So this is difficulty four. All right. So she manages it. She knocks you to the ground. Um, Yeah, and grabs for the gun that you've taken off her. She wants to get it back from you. At this point, Jack, you're arriving. Frida is on top of Owen on the ground. They're sort of wrestling around. What do you do?
I mean, that's kind of unusual because I'm pretty sure Owen's gay. Um, what do I do? Let me see what I have here. Um, uh, is Frida working class or
Frida is like part of the underworld. I don't know that a class is going to affect her so much. More like streetwise, maybe.
okay? And I've already spent all my streetwise points. Um, I have no preparedness. I have no mechanics. I've got stealth. I have will. Um,
I mean, I would say this is pretty much a fighting or athletics type situation.
well, I have more points in fighting. So, to distract her and keep her from getting that gun from Owen, or at least have it go like skidding across the concourse and under a train where it's probably going to
Hmm.
just be run over and look like a penny. I'm going to start, I'm going to pull my tarot deck out of my coat as I'm running, and I'm going to start flipping the cards at her. Uh, and it turns out I'm pretty accomplished at that, I think. Um, what kind of a difficulty do you think that is?
To what? Hit her with cards hard enough to knock her away from Owen, or what's the
Well,
goal?
they are tarot cards, and I am an accomplished scumbag. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe these things are like
Yeah. Okay, I think
razor
it's
edged or something.
I mean, I don't think they're going to do like a significant amount of damage, but you can definitely
Oh no,
like
the
distract
point
her.
isn't to damage
Yeah,
her.
yeah,
It's to like get that gun away from her.
sure. Okay, so to create a strong enough distraction for Owen to like gain an advantage, I think it's a difficulty four.
I'll just spend 3 points of fighting. So I'm guaranteed success on that, and I will go ahead and roll again. D6 plus 3. And that is a 6.
All right, so she is distracted. Owen, in the sort of struggle between them, Owen is maybe starting to get the upper hand. But I just want to cut away to George for a minute.
Mm.
So George, you have some folklore, right? So I think there's some stuff that you'll like put together as you think about the visions that you had as you attuned to the node. Um, let's see. So the story that sort of comes immediately to mind is that one of the nodes you saw was in Gloucestershire and involved a radiant cow. And you do know a story relevant to the area about a holy cow. It's the story of Saint Kenelm, who has a number of churches all over England. He was a boy king in Mercian times, and when he was aged 9, he was murdered by his, uh, scheming sister and her lover. And according to different versions of the story, either his soul or a bird, a dove that emerged from the stump of his neck after he was murdered, flew to the Pope, and the Pope got word to the King of England about what had happened, and his sister and her lover were executed, and St. Kenelm's, well, not yet Saint, Kenelm's body was discovered. In some tellings, when she saw that his body had been exhumed, his sister recited the 53rd Psalm backwards and her eyes exploded, and that's how she died. But the link to the cow is that uh, Kenelm's remains were interred at Winchcombe in Gloucestershire, and a well sprang up on that spot, and a cow is said to have come and started to drink the water there. And thereafter, the cow never aged a day and gave 2 full udders of milk a day. Um, and that, when you see the vision of the node, the radiant cow, all of this seems to connect for you. Sorry, is there anything you wanted to ask about that?
No, I think we're, just sort of looking over her shoulder, and every so often she gets up and goes and rummages for a book, and
Mhm.
yeah.
The other one that you'll remember pretty clearly, because I'm thinking that, like you probably don't have your whole library with you in Birmingham, so these are just things that you know or can recall. The horse at Tyso, like that's a clear reference to one of the big earthworks horses, like set into the side of a hill in Tyso. This enormous enormous horse that had been carved into the face of the hill, probably during the Iron Age. Nobody really knows. And there was an annual sort of scouring of the horse where the locals would, weed and trim and get rid of plant growth and things to keep the horse clear. But that was banned in the 1830s after the festival that grew up around it became more and more popular and started to sort of scandalize the Victorian sensibilities of the era. And now the horse is said to have vanished, but the horse of Tyso, the horse in Tyso seems like a reference to the red horse on the hill. Um, I think that's probably what you can, sort of divine from, the things that you already know or the things that you can easily remember. All right, Owen, you're starting to get the upper hand. Frida is looking frantic and murderous. What do you do?
So let's see. I lost the gun I took from her.
I think you both have your hands on the gun at this point.
Okay. And she still has. What happened to the box if we both
She's
have our hands on
still
the gun?
she has one hand on the gun and one hand on the box. In fact, she's looks like she's about to swing the box at your head the next chance she gets.
Really
Okay.
quickly, I thought the roll I made was to get that gun skittering away from her.
Uh, sorry, I understood that your role was to distract her enough that Owen would have an opportunity. Um, I don't
Okay,
think, yeah,
that's fair.
I would have given you that on a crit, but not on a base success.
Cool.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I have a backup plan for when things go poorly still. So I'm gonna headbutt her.
Nice. Just a T6 plus fighting.
Yeah. I'll spend my 3 fighting. And let's see how this goes. Okay, that's a 4.
All right, that'll hit her. So roll a D6 for damage.
Okay. Oh, I'm looking at all the wrong places. That's a 4.
Nice. All right. Um, she is going to decide that this is more trouble than it's worth and that she doesn't like to fight two people at once, and that little Malcolm is a absolute dead loss as he sort of stands to the side looking shocked and confused. And she's going to jump up and run. She's going to make a fleeing roll to try and get away before you can take a shot or whatever you might do. And she will spend aggressively on this because she really wants to get away. All right. So she runs, she's like ducking behind, benches and lampposts and other things along the concourse because she doesn't want to get shot in the back as she runs, but she's bolting. Um, I mean, I think we're probably out of like taking turn order here, but if anyone like wants to keep doing that, you can. What are the two of you doing?
I would like to pursue her.
All right.
What was that?
I'm going to chase.
Chase like you're trying to catch her and grab her, chase like you're trying to follow her. Like what does chase look like?
What would I have to roll on flirting and romance to be able to grab her, kiss her, and not have her take my head off?
It is not available.
That's not an option.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I look at Owen and I say, chase? Yes, no, pursue, not.
Because Owen has 0 athletics left, and all his violence has also been spent down. Um, I think we I think we take the victories where we find them. It wasn't this is a complication we'll need to sort out later. For now, we need to retreat and see what exactly we've actually won.
So we have the box, correct?
I think she's taken the box.
Oh, I thought you said that she gave up. Okay. I thought she dropped everything. Okay. No, in that case, yeah, I can chase after to try to tackle her. I thought that that we got the box. Never mind.
Um, can I use my fleeing to pursue her,
No.
considering that she's fleeing? Okay.
No, that's why you get to spend for 2 for 1.
Yeah, so fleeing is very specific to what it can
One for
do.
two.
Um, if anyone has points in towns and cities, I would think that's a natural spend to boost a athletics roll to chase her through the railway station.
Yeah, I have that. I can spend that.
All right. And
Um,
Also, Puckett does have a enormous amount of unspent XP.
oh, that's true. You could have as many points as you want in anything, really.
Well, yeah, what's the XP exchange rate?
For general abilities, it's 1 for 1. For investigative abilities, it's 1 XP. Sorry, 3 XP for 1 point.
Okay. So, oh wow.
Or is it one for investigative abilities and three for general ability?
no, other way around. It's
Oh.
three. Yeah, investigative abilities are expensive because
They're more powerful.
yeah,
Yeah.
Huh.
you can like use them passively. The general abilities you have to use actively.
Shane,
Yeah.
would you let me spend points after a roll to get to a success?
No.
I have to spend them before?
Yes.
Curses. Of course.
Unless you decide to bring in idiosyncratic magic. You can
That's true.
always bring in idiosyncratic magic to change a failure to a success.
That's
But
true.
you can only use will, and you have to also do like a will test. And you don't have great, and you have like 3 points of will left, so that probably wouldn't be a good choice for you.
But I have a ridiculous amount of XP.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right. She's getting away. You've got to make a choice now.
I'm giving chase as well.
Yep.
So, Owen, go ahead and do your thing.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I just realized I forgot I've had it. I'm gonna deadlock playful,
Oh, yeah, nice.
and I'm gonna be deadly serious.
Amazing. And is this to succeed in an athletics test?
Yep,
All right. Um,
and to
and
refill my fighting in case I'm gonna need it.
nice. That's awesome. Um, and I mean, part of deadlocking is to like tell us what it looks like what's the sort of decisive action that marks the shift. And I guess, like tell us as part of that what success looks like. Is it just that you get the box? Is
So
that
it's like
you,
it's not just success, but it's like critical success, isn't it?
yeah. So you have like a lot of freedom to narrate here what this looks like, whether you're just taking the box, knocking her out, like what are you doing here?
I mean, if I'm deadly serious, if I'm this is the thing that changes things. I think that we corner her. And I don't know if Jack gets here in time or not. Or if like Jack just is coming up and is like sees around the corner. She drops the box and is like, "Okay, you can have it. This is like we can keep going trading this off." And I just shoot her with her gun.
You kill her?
Yeah.
All right. So a gunshot rings out through Birmingham train station. Jack, you arrive just in time to see her body slump to the ground. And what Owen picking up the box. And uh, you can see, a sort of new look of determination on Owen's face that you haven't seen before.
Mhm.
Um, what do you do? You're both going to have to get out of there pretty quick now that
Yeah,
everyone has
Um,
heard a
I'm
gunshot.
gonna
I yell to Owen, give me the box. I'm faster. If you get caught, I can get it to George.
you're faster, Jack, but I'm the only one of us two I trust. And
Fair,
I run.
but okay, you're running. Okay.
Yep.
All
Uh,
right. Let's have a fleeing test well, is Jack also running?
Yep. Well, I'm
I'm going to
running.
wait to see I'm going to wait to see what happens with Owen.
Okay. Well, Owen, go ahead and make your fleeing test.
What am I trying to hit?
I think so. I'm imagining that you're just trying to get like clear of the station, so you're not going to be immediately linked to this murder, and I'll say that's a
Sure.
difficulty 4.
Okay. I'll spend some of my refresh athletics pool that I just used,
Hmm.
and I'll spend down my fleeing for 5.
Hmm.
Oh, not a D10. Okay, that's a
All
9.
right. So for a critical success, otherwise I was going to make you make a stealth test as well, but I think on a critical success you get away without being seen. Um, Jack, you see that Owen is making a pretty good getaway. Are you following?
I am fleeing indeed.
All right. So that is a fleeing test for you as well.
I am burning all 6. Okay, so that is D6 plus 6. That's an
All right.
11.
So
Finally, I get a good one.
you also make a clean getaway. Um, so I imagine that the next thing that happens is that you both arrive back at the hotel with the box, unless there's anything that you want to do on the
Probably
way back there.
separately, coming from
Yeah.
different directions, but yeah.
Are you going to tell George what happened?
I bring the box to George and say I picked this up at the train station. Be careful about opening it.
I look at Owen and say absolutely nothing because Owen has helped me, and keeping my mouth shut helps Owen.
Yeah. And George is the friend Owen is does George need to know all the ways that Owen gets the things he gives her?
I think
No,
she preferred
no.
not to. Yeah. I think she'll just sort of look
Besides,
at it quizzically, yeah. What is it?
don't know. Picked it up at the station.
I'm assuming it's a skull from hell.
It's not big enough. It's too small a box.
Oh, it's not big enough? Okay.
Besides, the skull from hell was in a skull-shaped carrying case.
Right.
Uh, George has 1 point of glamour left. So she's going to try and do some psychometry,
Uh-oh.
to figure out what's in the box before she opens it.
The ability to read objects and understand something of their history. Um, yeah, okay, so I think for 1 point, maybe what you get is that there's definitely something magical in the box. I think it's probably not a whole lot of information that you're getting about the box itself from a 1 point spend.
Whatever it is, it's magic. I think she just
And
opens it.
whatever it is,
Better
I
that the
can tell you
fascists
where it
don't have
came
it.
from.
So inside there's, a cushioned carrier for a ring, of the kind that goes on a finger. Um, it looks like gold or silver or some other valuable metal. It is inscribed along the inside with what seem to be runes.
I think George will sort of peer at them and say, no, I need a library to decipher these. At the train station.
Would it help you to know where it came from?
And the fact that you are asking that, and Owen has not volunteered the information, but did mention fascists. Um, she's not dumb. I
Oh,
don't think so.
I was thinking we could take a carriage back to Oxford. Avoid the train.
George, I mean, would you like to know its point of origin, not where we acquired it?
Here is, well, we're both magicians. She was going to say you're as much of a magician as I am, but I don't know that that's actually true anymore. She'll toss it to you.
I'm just going to let it hit the floor and say, I'm not touching it.
Really, Jack?
And
This is the thing you don't touch?
I look at Owen and say, We both know where this came from. We both know how this got here. And we both know what we need to do to make sure that no other shit like this gets here. And George, this is why I said I needed the Hand of Glory. This is an artifact from hell, and it comes from an atlas from hell that is now currently in the possession of Moses Sabini, which we took from Tobias, and he and I have a whole thing to settle. But this is why I need the Hand of Glory, because I need to stop Moses Sabini from using this again.
A, I don't have it anymore.
I know.
And B,
We need to
uh,
retrieve it.
feels like a lot of conjecture, Jack. And your last conjecture was flat wrong. I say we get more information first. She'll pick it up off the ground. And I think a carriage ride sounds quaint. Fresh air will be good for us.
All right. Well, we're at the top of the hour, so maybe we'll take our 10-minute break here and we'll pick up with you back in Oxford.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. See you in 10.
I'm also back.
All right. So I think, I mean, if people want to pick up like in the journey back to Oxford or as soon as you get back or something like that, we can. But otherwise, I would be inclined to say that we just sort of move into more of a downtime and planning type session where we, just pick out key scenes from the next week or two of your lives and everyone can refresh their abilities.
Sure.
Shane, I do have
Yeah,
one thing I want to do before we leave
sure.
Birmingham.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, you said they're runes, right?
hmm
And the troll was originally from Scandinavia.
hmm
George is just going to swing by and see if he can read them.
Yeah, sure. So, Saw by John. Well, I think Saw by John is like busy at night, is not really available. But you could
Mm.
go back and see him in the morning if you want to wait till daybreak. Um,
I don't know. How insistent is Owen that we leave right now?
I think Owen is fairly insistent.
All right. Well, in that case, George makes a note in her pocket planner to, at some point later, if she's having trouble, come back and ask our friend in the park.
sure.
I'll
Um,
say, George, would you like me to do that for you? Because I need to talk to our friend anyway.
Do I want to let you wander off unattended with a magical artifact that I don't know what it does? I'll
I
I'll
would
let you
hope
draw your own conclusions, Jack.
I would hope that my reaction showed you my absolute lack of interest in using it.
I believe that that's what you were trying to show me, yes.
George, what do I have to do to let you to make it so that you can trust me on this point?
Temporary amnesia, possibly.
George
Owen,
does a better job than I do at not laughing.
Owen, that's not practical, and you know it. Besides, I don't want to do anything to George.
The fact that you're bringing that up at all is a little disconcerting, not gonna lie.
But Owen just said temporary amnesia. There's only a few ways to do that, and all of them would involve acting against you in some way.
And Jack, the fact that you followed that thread of logic and then were like, no, I'm not going to do it, well down the path. is why I can't trust you yet.
George, it's not following it down the path. It's like that's the gate you go through to get down the path. I'm saying I'm stopped at the gate. That's not following a train of logic. That's just fine. Do whatever.
Let's hire that carriage.
I'll see you back in Oxford. And I walk out.
So where is Jack going, or what's Jack doing?
I'm going to the park because I have made an egregious error. I looked at my cards and I drew the reversed ace of swords. I was acting selfishly because I wanted my debt cleared, and I have given a mobster a tool that he is using to supply fascists. And that is resulting in people dying, and that's on me.
And so what are you going to do?
I'm going to go wait for Sawbite.
All right. So the sun comes up. You've maybe dozed in the park a little. Um, and yeah, as the sun comes up, Sorbite, sticking to the shadows in the woods will, call out to you.
Hey, sorry about that. I must have dozed off. Uh, is there anything I can do to help you get into shadow? Anything like that? Or are you good?
I mean, so you didn't get off to the greatest start with Sorbite, John, so he's probably not really like thrilled to see you here. I don't need your help. What are you doing in my park?
I need your help. I tend to look for threats first before I consider they might be friends. And unfortunately, I did the opposite. And those magical artifacts that have been floating around your town and your park are coming from something that I did unknowingly at the time, and now I need to fix it. I need to make it right.
And how can I help with that? How would I help with that if I was inclined to help?
If you are inclined to help, I would ask that you consider loaning me the Hand of Glory. You can come with, make sure that I'm not using it in a way that you disapprove of, but someone in Oxford retrieved something called the Atlas of Hell. And I'll recount the story and fast forward past all of that. So, because we all know the history. And then I'll explain. And then this mobster said he'd wipe out my debts if I retrieved it for him. And he said the guy brought him part of his dead son's shin bone from hell. And I fell for it. And yeah, I need to fix this. I fucked up really bad.
I
And I
mean,
don't care what happens to me in the process, but I need to fix that.
your friend made me promise to keep the Hand of Glory safe.
I know. This is why I'm saying if you need to come with, I will do whatever I have to do to make sure that you can keep your promise and also atone, I guess is the best word.
So, just stepping out of character for a sec. So, you're
Yep.
trying to convince Sorbite John to come with you to Oxford with the Hand of Glory to use it against Moses Sabini to get the Atlas of Hell back. Is that about
Yes.
right?
Yeah, that's about right. That or loan me the Hand of Glory with the promise that I will come back, although I think he's probably less likely to go for that one.
Hmm. Well, I think you're gonna have to spend for either of these things. You can, yeah. What would you spend?
Oh, that's a hell of a good question. Um, what about composure?
So general abilities you can't really spend on for this sort of thing. So you're looking for an investigative spend of some kind.
But you have an unspent bargain
I see.
ability, yeah.
What would you do? What about deadlocking indebted to flat broke?
Yeah, I'd buy that, sure. But I mean,
Okay.
what does it look like? Because part of deadlocking is taking some sort of decisive action that changed things. And also, your debts have been cleared, so I'm not really sure why that would be the change that happened.
Um, because I've realized that the way my debts were cleared is infinitely more harmful than me owing money all over Oxford and London
I
and
mean, maybe
probably
not then
Birmingham.
flat broke.
Maybe like guilt-ridden or
Maybe it could
something.
be sold your soul
Yeah.
twice.
Yes. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
something that like fits the fiction a bit more would be better.
Okay. That I'm fine with either of those because that's basically where Jack is coming from. You know, the cost of all of this was more than he's now that he realizes the actual cost, it's more than he's willing to pay, and he's trying to, probably unsurprisingly to anybody who knows him, go back on the deal.
Okay.
Man, evil people do evil things.
So
He seemed nice.
I don't think that he did. Um, so the deadlocking will get sort of like John to agree. But like, is your plan that you want him to come with you right now to do this immediately, or is it more like you want him to be available when you've had a chance to plan a bit more and think about what you're going to do?
Considering everything that has happened from me jumping into things without thinking, I want time to think this time.
All
So
right.
it's mostly just having Sabai John see my remorse and regret and agree to help.
Well, he will say that he can't believe that you've talked him into this, but he'll shake your hand and promise to do what you've asked.
All right. And then what okay, deadlocks. So go from flat broke to guilt ridden. And then how do we note that the deadlock has been switched? Do you want me to put like a line through it or something? Or
Yeah, so you can, I mean, you can strike through indebted. I guess that will work.
okay,
Or maybe bold guilt ridden or something like that, just so, like, whatever you want to do to make it clear for you.
okay, sure,
All right. Um,
done.
so we are cutting back to Oxford. Everyone is back. Everyone's had a little time to decompress and recover after the events in Birmingham. Um, Jack has also made his way back. Um, is there anything in particular that people want to do? I mean, Owen, Anthony certainly wants to, catch up and spend some time with you. George, Carrie probably wants to check in with you as well. Um, but yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah, definitely want to check in with Carrie and also figure out this ring.
hmm Um, so yeah, so if anyone hasn't refreshed your abilities, because we finished up in Birmingham, the the ring. What can you find out about the ring? Um, so with some book research, I don't know why I chose a Nordic name that I can't pronounce, but we're going to say that it's the Ring of Neuron. I will post that into the chat. Or you think that it's this legendary item. It is said to allow the wearer to enter the dreams of another. Um, and I guess, given what uh, Jack has told you, um, well, so Parker just asked in the chat about uh, confirming Jack's intuition that this is from hell. But I think that George's research will tend in the opposite direction. The the legends are of this as being an earthly artifact created by Nordic sorcerers hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Um, but there's no specific infernal or hellish connection that you can find.
Yeah. I mean, uh, maybe we do a scene with somebody else, but first, George is absolutely going to try to use this to talk to Lizzie, see what's up with
Interesting.
her, since Sybil seems to think she's in danger.
So yeah, sorry, I wasn't very clear, but the mechanism, as best you can tell from the research, is that you have to touch the
Hmm.
person whose dream you're going to enter while wearing the ring.
Harder.
Yes.
George has that idea and then looks at her notes and
Mm.
like droops a little bit like an underwatered plant. But I mean, she would like to test it to make sure that she's right. And well, who better to run tests on than your research assistant?
God. Okay. All right. So we'll maybe go to some of the
I mean,
other
surely
players
Jack's
first.
more expendable.
I was thinking
Yeah,
something similar, actually.
no, that George really wants to be rummaging around in his head.
I just figured you probably value your research assistant more.
All right. Well, we'll come back to George and see what that looks like. Um, Owen, uh, Anthony will want to have a private conversation with you about a lot of things, like what all is going on. What was that thing in the boot of Jack's car? What have you gotten mixed up in? Why do you look so different since you came back from Birmingham?
Well, the last is lack of sleep. Jack was the perhaps the less dangerous thing that was in Birmingham when we were there. Now, Anthony, you must promise me that if anything I tell you, you do not tell your sister that I told you.
I promise. There's a lot of keep about our relationship that I don't tell my sister.
Um, well, and I'm thinking of how Owen frames this. Well, your sister and we became involved recently with I'm forgetting her name, important figure of recently. Um,
Do you mean Lily?
yeah, Lily. And we have been investigating things related to, well, the presence of magic in England.
Anthony I mean, looks surprised, but maybe not totally surprised after the things that he's seen. I mean, I just don't really understand. You've always seemed so committed to your cause. That's one of the things that I was drawn to. And now you're running around with heiresses and addicts doing magic. What does that mean?
Well, I was already running around with one heir.
Well, I like to think I'm a little different than my sister.
Um, oh, I need to have a line for that. Oh, believe me, I'm aware of your difference. I don't know where we're having this conversation, but where are we having this conversation?
I mean, I was imagining in bed or at least somewhere private.
Oh yeah, and okay, in that case, I pull him to straddle one knee and grind into him when I say that.
Nice.
Look, I needed to figure out where we were before I did that. Um, I'm committed, but there are always deeper levels I'm finding to power Anthony. There's always something above the force I'm fighting against. There is a monster beyond the monsters I've seen. And I know that it lies perhaps perhaps parallel to, or perhaps above it, perhaps beneath it. But I found myself driven to find what that thing is.
What you're saying sounds mad.
Mm. Um, well, I'm just trying to think of what I would say here. If it is madness, perhaps some madness that leads to answers.
Well, I suppose you've always been a little mad, but just promise me you won't keep secrets from me anymore.
I won't.
Good. And he leans in for a kiss at that,
Hmm.
and we'll cut away from that scene.
Hmm.
Um, Jack, you said you wanted to do some planning. Is that what you're doing back in Oxford, or what do you want to do?
I want to do some surveillance because Frida's off the board, which is good for getting at Moses. Um, so I want to make sure that we're acting quickly enough before he gets someone who is as competent as she was. But I also want to take enough time so that we're not rushing in uninformed. So basically, I just want to be the equivalent of a homeless person, just looking innocuous and gathering data and information.
Okay, sure. So, I mean, you met Moses the last time at an office, but probably not like his actual office or home or anything like that.
Mhm.
Are you trying to track down where he's staying or where he works from, or like you're trying to get an org chart for his criminal syndicate? Like, what is it that you're trying to find out exactly?
The most important thing is the skull, and second, any magical artifacts he's retrieved from hell using it. So Moses is, I don't want to say he's irrelevant, but he is not my primary goal.
Hmm.
He's taking him off the board would be a secondary or tertiary goal.
Okay. Do you have any, do you want to make an occult spend?
Considering I have 0 points in occult, uh, let's see what I can do here. I do
Well,
have, thankfully, plenty of XP.
yeah. I mean, you've been around the magic long enough that it makes sense that you've developed a rating in occult if you want to use some of the XP for that.
Yeah, and that's 3 for 1, correct?
Hmm.
All right, well, in that case, I will save 3
Does he finally
XP.
read that contract?
Well, the contract is missing.
Yeah, Tobias has the contract somewhere.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll
Mhm.
spend 3 points in occult to get a success.
Okay. Sorry, I just remembered that there's something that's going to happen when you get back home before we get to this. So hold that spend for now. But
Okay,
when you get back to your apartment, you're going to find Myrna there,
okay.
and she doesn't look the same as when you left. Her fingers have started to web together. Her skull is elongating. Um, she complains of a headache. Um, she no longer, she couldn't really pass for human anymore. Um, she says, "Oh, you're back.
Myrna, what's happening?
There was some guy here looking for you to buy us."
Yeah, uh, he found me.
He,
I understand he has the contract.
well, he took something. I don't know what he was looking for.
Yeah, he took the contract. So awesome, splendid. But what's happening to you? Because you look different.
I don't imagine you have like a lot of good mirrors in your apartment, and she's mostly been staying home. So she's a little surprised by that. Different how?
Well, look at your hands and then
She,
compare them to mine.
she looks at her hands, looks concerned. Oh, shit.
Yeah. Do you know what's going on?
Well, I mean, I was in hell. It's got to be something to do with that, right?
Do you know? I mean, I suspect you're right. Do you have any idea of what more specifically the issue could be?
What the hell do I know? You're the one who called me out of hell. I thought I was just going to be
I didn't
damned for
particularly, I didn't
all
call you
eternity.
personally out. I just, I called for an item and you brought it. So,
Well, it sure wasn't my idea. You're the magician, right?
so people keep accusing me. Um, as yet, I would say that I have not shown any sort of competency or success in it to be considered a magician. But sure, let's go with that. Let's say that's what I am.
Well, can you stop this? She like holds up her webbed fingers towards you. I don't want to turn into a monster.
Of course not. No one does. I have an idea, but it will involve introducing you to a few people who are much more competent and qualified than I am and far less reckless.
Well, it's a start, I guess.
It's okay. Um, gonna have to bundle you up so your changes are not as evident.
Can't you bring them here?
There are research materials that one of them in particular will probably want and perhaps need access to in order to identify what is occurring. And unfortunately, those materials are not here.
All right, fine, fine.
The good news is you're going to college. And I kind of shrug and give a sheepish grin.
Right. I think we'll cut that scene there. Um, and we'll come back with George and maybe Owen as well meeting Myrna in a bit. But uh, in the meantime, you're also able, like, we don't not necessarily going to run these scenes in, chronological order, but just sort of over the period. That occult spend, what you're going to get for that is that for,
Oh,
yep.
do you want me to spend the points and that's it, or do you want me to roll for it?
So an occult spend doesn't require a roll. Um,
Okay. Do I have? Can I just spend 1 point?
yep.
Okay.
Oh wow,
I
you've
will go to.
really given yourself a generous occult rating. That's cool. You are quite the magician then. Um,
Listen,
the
I signed a contract to sell my soul to the devil. Don't you think that warrants an occult rating like that?
Yeah, I'm not disputing that you could have that rating. I'm just interested. Um, the
But it's just that he finally, like, the brain damage kind of wrapped its way around and the memories have finally returned.
I see. The horseshoe theory, right?
Mhm.
The
Something like
horseshoe
that.
theory of magic. Awesome.
Um, So for a while now, Moses has like put the word out to a lot of occult sources that he's in the market for artifacts. He's been buying, powerful items that private collectors might offer. But more recently, since about the time that you delivered the skull, he's let it be known that he's no longer interested in purchasing items. And the word is that he has some sort of source of his own that he's relying on now. Um, and uh, we'll go. Oh, sorry, were you going to say something, Pocket?
No, good. Got the information.
Cool. Um, so George, you're meeting with Carrie, maybe with the intention to sneak into her dreams. Is that right?
Well, I mean, I think is gonna ask for consent, right?
No.
Oh, this is a good point because I specifically haven't told Carrie shit about magic.
Carrie is basically a professional skeptic who's inspired by you, her professional skeptic
Yeah,
mentor.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Uh,
Okay, hear me out. What if you do
hmm.
we need to, like, obviously, being scientists, we need to do it so that we know it
Mhm.
doesn't work.
Debunking, quote unquote. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we don't know a whole ton about their relationship, except for the fact that George has written Carrie a letter that's like, open in case of death, magic is real. Don't
Mhm.
don't mess with it. It's dangerous. Hmm. I do. This does feel like the decision that she is going to make, but I think she doesn't understand why entirely that it feels right that it should be Carrie. Um, and I think George is leaning into her intuition a bit. So yeah, I think she is gonna. Does she have anything in stealth? She's got a little bit in stealth. Yeah, I think she is gonna do this surreptitiously because it might not even work, right? Like this might be an expect. Well, it's magic. It does something. This may or may not be what it does, right?
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, yeah. No, I think she is sneaking, and it just feels like. But I think if Carrie asks, she will be honest. But she's just sort of hoping Carrie doesn't ask about anything.
Sure. I mean, if all that
Mm,
you're doing, like in this, interaction with Carrie is just like touching her while you're wearing the ring, it's probably normal
mhm.
enough that you have, ordinary physical contact, like shaking hands or embracing or something like that when you see each
Yeah, yeah,
other. So she's not especially going to notice, unless you draw
yeah. Hand on
attention
the
to the
shoulder.
ring.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but Carrie has something that she wants to talk to you about. Um, are you having this conversation in your office or at the pub or
Oh,
whereabouts?
uh, it's the 30s. There's coffee houses.
Hmm.
I think George is taking Carrie out for coffee because she's been away for a bit, and she sort of wants to get updates on how the research is going. So
Yeah.
yeah, coffee house.
Um, so she, checks in with you. How have you been? Did you find anything interesting in Birmingham?
Uh, yes, a lot of unnecessary upset over some wild animal maulings. You know how the papers like to get their teeth in things. Um, yeah, thinking I might go to Taiso next.
Hmm. I've heard it's
Well,
lovely up
I'll have to
there.
discuss it.
Um, I'm thinking of going to Meon Hill. Have you heard of it? And George will
I, a
certainly,
player, do not know.
yes. So you'll at least know the name Meon Hill. It's not far from Oxford. Um,
Hmm.
and she says, I found something. I think you'll find it interesting. And she, reaches into a pocketbook and takes out a small leather-bound book. It's sort of pocket-sized. The cover doesn't have a title on it. It just has the symbol of a broken red ring. And you recognize the symbol from the vision that you had during your initiation and also from the altar in the dolmen at Gumby Hall.
Harry, where did you get this?
It was the strangest thing. I was in a charity shop, and she names the street, nearby in Oxford. Um, and I just saw the most beautiful man, tall, well dressed, like quite out of place in a charity shop in Oxford. And he was intently reading something on their bookshelf, and I couldn't help but, after he left, go to see what it was that he'd been reading, and I found this. And you can see that it's, sort of full of her bookmarks and notes and things like that poking out. And she
Uh,
says, yep, go on.
George is green. George has visibly changed color.
Mhm. Um, and she says, my Latin is a little rusty, but it's called the Modero de Caligenus. Uh, translates roughly to the Black Guide. She'll like flip it open so you can see, and it's the pages are this like densely packed, like tiny font, quite hard to read. In some places, just unreadable from water stains and things like that. She says there's no author credited, it's just listed as being authored by diverse hands. It's marked as the seventh edition from 1921. It seems to be a collection of, I suppose you'd call them essays, not really academic, almost like a travel guide to historical and archaeological sites across England and folk tradition and, well, I suppose you'd call them cults. I mean, if even half of this material were true, there'd be the most terrible secret cults and traditions all over England. And, well, yeah, like I say, I've gotten particularly interested in the material about Meon Hill in Quinton since it's not far from here. According to the guide, there's a crossing to Fairy there, and the locals in the nearby towns, all the way up to the local landowning family, are involved in a cult that venerates the fairy goblin king. It's just fascinating stuff.
And I mean, I think it sounds like Carrie's been sort of like burbling and excited.
Mhm.
And I think George is, she'll shake hands and pat you on the back and hug you, which is not particularly um, physical, but I think she reaches out and she grabs Carrie's wrist. Um, why not with the hand that has the ring on it?
Mhm.
And not hard enough to hurt, but very firmly, and says, Carrie, under no circumstances should you go to Mahon Hill.
Well, what do you mean?
Did you receive a letter from me before I left for Birmingham?
Yeah, I mean, I have been concerned. I mean, why?
Oh, and George uh, leans forward and just sort of grips at her temples and says, I- "I'm so sorry, Carrie. Um, uh, is looking around at the sort of like busy coffee shop, and says, let's let's take a walk. There's something I should tell you." Oh, one second. I think my audio output is on the spritz.
That sounds
Mm-hmm.
fine to me.
Mm-hmm. Should I say something?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Fantastic. Yes, I can hear you. Excellent. Uh, yeah, and I think George will, they'll take a walk to, whatever sort of semi-secluded garden there is, and fully expecting Carrie to believe none of this, but knowing that she can't do anything else. And also that she is breaking the Compact of Winchester, I think. Um, but perhaps there's special provisions for people who are currently being ensorcelled by the Fae. Um, she's gonna tell her everything.
All right. Um,
Uh, and I think she ends with the ring, and will say, and I know this is um, absolutely, it sounds ludicrous, but Carrie, I'll visit you in your dreams tonight, and you'll see it's, God help me, it's real.
George, I think you need to see a doctor, an alienist, something. You're quite unwell.
If you still think that tomorrow, then we can talk again.
All right. So I think we can end that scene there. I know that we have Jack wanting to bring Myrna to George. Um, Owen, is there anything in particular that you're wanting to do?
No, I don't have an immediate thought.
All right. So I think in that
I
case,
have
it
to look at
makes.
the. Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry, go on. What were you going to say?
I need to go back and look at what our leads are before to think about what to do next.
Sure. Well, maybe it makes sense that we'll bring everyone together at George's office where Jack is bringing Myrna, and you can deal with Myrna and then talk about what sort of threads you want to follow from here. Um, so, yeah, so what Jack has arranged to bring Myrna by after hours, does that sound right?
I would hesitate to say that Jack arranged anything. I'm entirely okay with Jack showing up unannounced.
I mean, is Jack really going to bring the woman who's mysteriously magically transforming to the university during business hours?
Uh, when you put it like that, that sounds like a terrible idea. So I might
Yeah.
wait until the university has cleared out a bit,
Mhm. Um,
but I am fine if the research assistant is still present.
I think Carrie left after their discussion. Um,
Gotcha.
um,
Shame. Myrna would have given support to it.
um, all right. So, uh, is Owen visiting George when this happens? Can we just make that happen so that we're all together?
Yeah, maybe
Sure,
George did
that works for
invite
me.
Owen, because Jack seems to have zero interest in actually doing our job, and George is like, I think we should go to Tyso.
Okay. So there's some discussion about the Red Horse of Tyso, um, the traditions around it, and in the middle of this, Jack knocks on the door with this woman with a what, like towel wrapped around her head.
Uh, Actually, it's probably more like burlap
Mhm.
sacks and that sort of thing.
So this elephant man type figure shuffles into the room.
100%. Glad you picked up what I was putting down.
Um, and what do you say, Jack?
Um, George, this is not the first time you've heard this, and I promise it's not going to be the last. Although I wish I could promise otherwise, but I need your help.
Myrna will just say, "Can I take this off now?"
Yeah, I think George is going to actively ignore Jack and talk to the strange woman he's led into
This
her
is
office. Uh,
this is Myrna. Uh, an
what's he done to
associate
you?
acquaintance. I didn't do well.
I wasn't talking to you, Jack.
Um, so she'll pull the burlap sack off her head, and you'll see that, yeah, she looks mostly human, but her skull is sort of stretching off into a strange shape, maybe like elongating towards being horned. Um,
Hmm.
she says, I don't know exactly. I mean, Jack, should I tell her? Myrna looks very
If
confused about whether she should trust Jack's opinion about anything, but also,
if
uh,
George is going to help you, she needs to know. So tell her everything because hiding anything can make. I mean, just tell her everything. God
well,
damn it.
I was in hell. Your friend summoned me, and since I got back, she sort of gestures at her head, changing.
Now, George, I would like to clarify something. I did not summon Myrna per se. I summoned the contract for my soul. Myrna was the courier who delivered it and understandably did not want to return to hell. And so I said she could stay at my place while we try to find her work and a place of her own, and so on and so forth. The contract is currently being held by Tobias, who I took the Atlas of Hell from, and that's how Tobias is getting a lot of his new magical implements.
Myrna sort of shrugs. Can you help me?
I have genuinely no idea. Um, Owen, would you open that drawer right there? Yep, halfway back. Yep,
Yeah.
thank you. She takes the flask of whiskey and takes a drink and then passes it back to you. Um,
Oh, Owen has also gotten a glass for himself.
excellent. Yes, she just does not pass it to Jack. Oh, I guess no.
Yes.
She's chivalrous. She'll offer it to Myrna.
Myrna will take it happily.
Whiskey.
But doesn't offer it to Jack.
No.
No.
No. Are you kidding? Uh, uh,
Why did I ever try to sober up? I was doing so much better when I was high.
all right. I mean, what usually happens with people who come back from hell?
They don't.
I mean, I can think of one pretty stellar counterexample, but no offense, Myrna, I don't think you've got quite that
I'm just saying
going for you.
this is an unusual circumstance or set of circumstances, depending on how you want to look at it.
I yeah, I guess
Jack never. No,
did
I'm
Dante
George.
have anything to say on the matter? I forget.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Did Dante have
George,
anything to say on the matter?
mostly how much he hated specific politicians. Um, uh, George never saw Tobias's friend, the Hellhound,
That's right.
so she has no context here whatsoever. Um,
I mean, you had a coach ride back from Oxford with Owen. It's plausible that you got, oh, Owen hasn't seen the Hellbeast either, has he? Just Jack and Anthony.
I just know that it
No.
exists.
Yeah,
Yeah, Tobias mentioned it.
yeah.
Um, yeah. Uh, I mean, as a player, I feel like this is sort of irreversible hellhoundification, oxidization from being in the wrong environment, or I guess the right environment. It depends on your point of view. Um, George is flummoxed. I mean, does it hurt? Do you need painkillers, I guess?
Um, so I think that with the points that you have in occult and the things that you know,
Hmm.
one thing at least crosses your mind, which is that Sybil recently met a woman named Lily who you think is from the Pomegranate Lodge. And the occult
Hmm.
significance of pomegranates does have to do with returning from hell.
Ah, that is true. Yeah.
Um, whether that's useful information or not, unclear, but it certainly at least crosses your mind.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be great. Actually, I think George will say that. Oh, I wish Sybil were here. Um, oh, oh, and you know how to get in touch with people. Do you think you could get word out discreetly that we want to talk to somebody from the Pomegranate Lodge?
Would I be able to do that? Well, see, I forget. Do I still have points in that after all? Let's see. I guess I do have Streetwise. I could do a spend from that if cultists would be considered part of like Streetwise.
So I think that, I mean, the only connection you have for the Pomegranate Lodge is this woman who seemed to be quite wealthy or at least comfortable with wealthier
Yeah.
people. So I think a
Okay.
streetwise spend,
Hmm.
probably no.
Yeah, I
And
don't have a cult or high society. I have towns and cities, but that seems a stretch.
yeah, I think
Hmm.
a cult or high society are the two that make the most sense for me. If anyone is able to spend from those.
Okay, so maybe I can spend. Uh, maybe George is uh, actually, you know what I think it is? I think Owen's, sort of literary quip sort of like leads to her connecting the dots about, descending and ascending from the underworld and Persephone, etc. Um, Perhaps it knocks her out of her sort of Christian framing for a bit. Um, yeah, and she will spend a point and perhaps because she's been sort of around occult stuff before. Maybe there was someone she debunked who mentioned someone else who had something to do with it.
All right. So, I mean, the spend will pay off. So Lily, will get word that you want to speak to her and will come to see you. We're going to take a break in a minute, but like, do you want to arrange a private meeting? Do you want her to meet with, the three of you in Myrna? Like, what's it going to look like? What sort of message are you putting out?
I think I think George will ask Myrna. Uh, I, Jack, I'm going to be very clear. I'm doing this because there's a woman in distress. And as far as I'm concerned, you're the one who put her there.
Not intentionally, but you're not wrong.
Myrna, would you like to stay with Jack? Do you want to? I mean, I have an apartment you're welcome to make use of.
George, I need to do something, and I need to not know where Myrna is. So I'm going to leave to go do the thing and just make sure that Myrna is not here.
Well, I guess I'm
Jack
staying with
will,
you.
yeah, George will bow towards the door pointedly. And I think George will like pick up the like piece of sackcloth that was overhead and says, "Has this man never heard of hats with veils?"
I think there's a lot of things your friend hasn't heard of.
I think you're right.
All right. So we're at the top of the hour, so let's take a 5 minute break here and we'll come back and pick up some of those threads.
All right, back in 5.
Okay, so well, what is Jack gonna do?
Gonna find myself at crossroads at midnight, play some guitar.
And your hope is that the devil will appear?
Well, I'm not sure if that's just a US thing, but what the hell? Who knows?
Or
Maybe
sorry,
there's a,
what do you hope to get out of doing this?
oh, I want Old Scratch to show up.
Hmm, interesting. Okay. Um,
And
things
I'm
I
willing
did
to
not
spend a
prep
point in
for.
occult to make it happen.
Well, we'll think about the spends in a minute. We'll come back to you. I just want to establish what everyone's going to do. Okay, so I know that George has arranged to meet with Lily or has that sort of set up. Jack is going to try and meet with literally the devil, possibly the worst plan that he's yet come up with, which is saying something. Um, what's Owen up to?
Um, let's see, what were the leads we had from our last investigation?
Like in terms of where the nodes were that you sort of had visions of during the ritual. One was in Gloucestershire. George has probably told you that she thinks that was linked to the church. There you go, the Church of Saint Kenelm, and there's the others in the chat.
Okay. Um, I guess the thing, I guess the thing is would George have asked for Owen's help with anything? Particularly considering we now have a monster woman dumped on us by
I
Jack.
mean, so George was going to have Myrna stay at her place, and then Jack heard her say that and then was like, I can't know where she is. I'm leaving now. Um, so I
I
think
think Owen will
given
tail
that,
Jack. Like actually tail Jack, where rather than pretend tail Jack.
mm,
Okay. Um, you don't want Jack to see you. That's going to be a stealth check.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, I can do that.
also, it's a very good thing for Jack that George is not a bastard because he is, if you squint a little bit, a fiddler, and she knows where there's an entrance to fairy and some fairies who would, probably take something from her if she could get you to offer.
Well, that's a 7.
All right. So you're able to follow Jack along. Jack, you said a crossroads. I'm assuming like on the outskirts of town or somewhere a bit
Oh,
isolated
I want to
or
be farther out. Like, I'm probably going to start driving in early, at mid-afternoon, early evening to try to get out there.
Mhm.
Um, you know,
All right. I mean, you've got enough points in occult that you can, identify a site of occult or infernal significance somewhere in England. Is that the sort of thing that you'd be doing?
yep. And then I'm going to look for something to sit on, fallen tree, log, tree stump, something like that, and
Oh
just
man.
start playing some blues.
So, I mean, this like seems like I'm being unfair because of just how neatly it lines up. But off the top of my head, the only place I can think of in England from my like folkloric preparation for this campaign
Hmm.
where there's a story of the devil appearing is Mayon Hill. Um, and
Don't you love it when a plan comes together, Shane? It's almost like you planned all this.
um, so it's not actually at Mayon Hill, but it's nearby. So the story is that the devil, hang on, I've got a note about this somewhere. Let me get the details right. Um, that in the Middle Ages, the devil sat on Ilmington Hill, which is near Mayon Hill, and he was watching the construction of Evesham Abbey. And he hated the abbey, he didn't want it to be finished, so he threw a huge stone, intending to destroy it. But through the miraculous intervention of St. Egwin, the stone fell to the ground halfway and became Mayon Hill. Um, so it's not too far from Oxford. It's a plausible drive. You want to go to Ilmington Hill or the stone that the devil threw at Mayon Hill?
Well, I figure if I go to either one of them, I can make enough of a racket that the devil gonna come walking. So, let's go to Mayon Hill.
Okay. Well, um, yeah. All right, let's do that. So, Owen, you following Jack, and at some point along the way, you start to realize that the direction he's heading is for Mayon Hill, which George mentioned as, connected to the Fae, um, potentially dangerous. You're still just following Jack, tailing him.
Should I, does Jack need to be knocked over the head at this point? Apropos of the temporary amnesia. I'm still just gonna follow him, yeah.
All right. Um, and
Yeah,
I,
this is the Jack is in the room with the skull, and we'll see the point at which I actually need to carry it now.
classic. All right. And Jack, is it fair to assume that you're aiming to get there at midnight? I mean, that's when you traditionally meet the devil, right?
I absolutely want to be playing my guitar there at midnight.
All right. Well, we'll come back to that. So
Okay.
let's talk about Jack. Sorry, George. Um, uh, I think that Lily will arrive during your office hours. I'm not sure what sort of specific invitation you sort of put the word out for, but she comes without notice. Um, you recognize her from Sybil's description. She has kind of an air about her. She's clearly not one of your students or from Oxford or around. Um, and she'll, yeah, just sort of pull up and lean in your doorway and say, I heard that you're looking for me.
Yes, of course. And I think George will stand and shake her hand, or offer to shake her hand. I don't know if she takes it or not.
She will.
And gesture to her. She's probably got two chairs in case she and Carrie and somebody else want to be there. So gesture to one of the other two chairs. Um, I don't think Jack is parading Myrna around Oxford. I think she's, got her cozy. Um, I think she just is in George's apartment. Um, uh, and will close the door and say, um, "This is a rather delicate matter, but I'm trying to assist a woman who has made her way to Oxford from hell and is undergoing some sort of unpleasant transformation. And well, it's not my problem, but I can't just leave her to suffer. And I'm rather out of my depth with a th. Um, and given the symbology of your affiliations, I thought you might be able to help.
Very interesting. How is it that you've come to know this? I'm sorry. I rather thought that you're a friend of Sybil's, right? That you had invited me here because you had information for me. I didn't expect to be asked a favor immediately.
Oh, um, well, I'm certainly happy to assist in whatever way I can. Um, I will say that And I think she'll reach up to her desk and pull out the copy of the book about the Hand of Glory, and will pass it back to her and say, "I will say that this object is in, well, what I hope is a safe place."
Hmm. I'm not so concerned about the object. Your friends were a great deal of help to me. I suppose to some extent I am in your group's debt. Uh, I was in Birmingham trying to establish conclusively who it was that was supplying the fascists with their magical tools, and well, the dead body of Frida Webb at the train station, courtesy of your friend Owen, certainly uh, clarified that beyond all doubt.
George sits down heavily. uh, I beg your pardon.
Oh, you didn't know. Well, I mean, I don't know for sure that it was Owen, but it's hard to see who else. Yes, Frida Webb. She was part of Sabini's crew. Uh, Apparently, was bringing some item of power to the fascists, and she was found dead, shot at Birmingham Station. The Just a night or two after I met Sybil, I can only assume.
Jack is nope, I'm George. Sorry, I don't know why I'm doing this so much
I
tonight.
just did that before. I don't know why.
George buries her face in her hands and says, "Oh, you know what the worst thing is? No, you don't know him. I think Jack might have been right.
What do you mean?
Oh, about Sabini. He was saying something about a skull and objects from hell and uh, uh, Miss Lily, would you like a drink?"
Certainly.
Uh,
Always.
yeah. And I think this is the end of this bottle, which usually lasts her significantly longer. And she'll pour two glasses. Well, setting aside what we've just been discussing, there's a pause as George compartmentalizes. Um, this woman, Myrna, she does need assistance, and I don't know how to help her.
You'd like to learn how to help her?
Yes, I would very much.
I suppose there's probably a great many things that you'd like to learn since your patron has vanished.
And I think George suddenly looks a little bit warier and says, "And what do you know about that?"
I, I keep abreast of these things. It doesn't pay to, it pays to be aware of the odd community in which we move.
Mm. We both know knowledge doesn't come free.
I suppose that's true. I believe I could help the woman that you're talking about. I would encourage you to consider that when you say that she came from hell, she was not in hell for no reason. But if you want, I suppose I know a ritual that could assist.
Uh, and yeah, I think George thinks about that for a moment, um, and says, well, whatever she's done, she needs assistance now. I think we've all done things we're not terribly proud of.
All right. Well, in that case, perhaps we can assist each other. I think I have a lot to offer you, and I think that you have a lot to offer the order of which I'm part. You're obviously talented and capable, but you see now that you're also raw and untrained. You don't know how to use the magic that you command, and your patron, as we've discussed, is gone. There are any number of dangerous powers that would like to take advantage of an untrained, unprotected neophyte magical order. I say this with respect, but you and your friends need protection and guidance. I am part of an organization dedicated to the use of magic to protect England's best traditions, and I can petition for you and your friends to be initiated into our order. I not only help this woman that you're talking of, but you'd have access to the information and resources and guidance that you need. What do you say? And I think we'll pause there and cut back to me on Hill.
Yeah.
So, uh, Owen, like, so me on Hill is like a big sort of flat-topped hill. So you've been following Jack in his car. Jack pulls up at the base and starts, hiking up the side, I imagine. Um, are you following him up? Are you staying by the car? Like, what are you going to do?
Um, I'm gonna follow him up.
Right. You like once you get to the top, you're not going to be able to be concealed anymore. You've stealthily followed him this far, but if you climb right up onto the flat top with him, he's just going to see you. Are you okay
I'll
with
I'll
that?
call out then and say, Jack, where exactly are we going?
Owen, you really should not be here. This is the last fucking place you should be. You've been a friend to me, so I'm gonna try to be a friend to you. Leave now. You don't want to be here.
Well, it's a bit late for that.
It's not too late if you turn around and drive like hell.
I think Owen sighs and says, "All right, Jack. Here's the plan. We can walk down the hill together, or I can you can drive back. You can drive back. We can go back in the driver's seat with you in the driver's seat or in the trunk."
Shane, what time is it?
I mean, I assume it's around 11:30, something like that, by the time you arrive. Does that sound right?
That works for me. I'm not sure this is largely Jack's plan. So
Yeah, I mean, Jack said he was aiming to be playing music by midnight, so I imagine arriving not too long before that.
Owen, go back. Don't make me do this.
oh boy, does Owen just punch Jack at this point, knock him over the head. No, what's that's uninteresting to the story. But do I punch Jack? I think I just grab Jack and Jack, you know that if I wanted to, I can make you tell me. So we how about honesty? How about you try honesty for once?
So you know by this point that hell is real, right? I mean, you saw the skull, you saw what it did, you've met Myrna. So you know hell is real, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Does he?
You've met me. Does it really surprise you that there are forces that exist to torment people?
Jack, those forces are you.
In my case, it's not intentional, it's accidental. And yet I have caused no end of suffering and misery for you and George and everyone around us. Just, I'll be back in the morning. This is something that I need to do. Think of it as a plan B. I'm trying to make things right, Owen.
Oh boy. Um.
Just,
Okay, I guess this is again. This is literally the same situation where don't open the closet, don't open the door, Jack. Owen. Jack, if you want to destroy yourself, by all means, go ahead. But I have better work to do than keeping you alive, I suppose. Because I'm deadly serious. Like, Jack wants to kill himself. He can go right ahead. I'll go back down the hill because I'm apparently not wanted.
Um, are you gonna wait there or are you gonna head back to Oxford?
Um, I mean, it is kind of like I'm gonna, mm, like, do I want to wait around in a car for waiting on Jack? I guess I'll wait. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so Jack, set the scene for me a little. You're up the top of Mayon Hill by yourself. You've got your guitar. What do you do?
I pull my tarot deck out and I lay down 3 cards.
Oh,
And it's the
well,
Magician, the Two of Cups, and the Emperor.
and what do you
And I
make of it?
sigh. What I make of it is that there's a deal to be made. Whether the terms of the deal have yet to be determined, but at least negotiation is possible. And I sit down and I start singing a blues song I wrote explicitly for this purpose.
The devil summoning song?
More or less, yeah.
Um, and so you play for a while. Um, you sense that it must be getting closer to midnight. Um, and you don't know exactly when that comes, but around the time that you think it must be midnight, there's a loud crack, and you see that a passage has opened up in leading down into the rock of Meon Hill.
Always the fucking drama with this guy. And I will pick up my guitar Pick up my cards. I will look at Owen down at the
Oh,
car and start into the hill.
all right. Well, we'll come back and find out what you find in the hill. Um, George, what do you say to Lily?
Hmm. I you'll have to forgive me. You're not the only people who claim to be saving the traditions of England. Um, I'd need more information. Unlike some people, I tend to read contracts before I sign them.
Well, what do you want to know?
Well, what traditions and for who? What's the future the lodge is working towards?
Hmm. Yeah, what will she say to that? So she thinks for a second. She says, the Pomegranate Lodge was founded by Eva Loveday. Um, she, her vision is of, how will she express this? Her vision will sound, may sound unimpressive, unremarkable, but I consider her a visionary. Her vision for the future is that the seasons continue to turn and that England remains a safe, free, fair place with opportunity for all. Uh, there are those, Sabini, England proud, who uh, think that England should be a place of what? Control and hierarchy. And sure, there's a place for hierarchy that is certainly in our traditions, but the sort of personal power that they aspire to is repugnant to us.
Hmm. Have you met Owen?
I
It
can't
sounds
say that
like
I
you're
have.
right, and you certainly can't have met Jack, or you wouldn't have made this offer at all.
I didn't make the offer without learning what I could about you and your friends. And the fact that
Appreciate
Lizzie
that.
Weiberg chose you speaks highly of you all.
Hmm. I suppose. Hmm. Why do you think I'm here, specifically in this office right now?
You work here.
Yes. Do you know why?
I can't say that I do.
Hmm. Well, I can tell you it was certainly not because I was simply good enough. I mean, I am, don't get me wrong. Um, the only reason I uh, was ever able to be here doing what I'm doing is because my lover, an American heiress, endowed the chair for me. The spot was bought. And I know damn well I'd never have had the opportunities that I have now without that. And there are certainly those who would prefer I'd never had them at all.
The Pomegranate Lodge is nothing if not a meritocracy. If you're as talented as I suspect, you'll show that. You'll rise through the ranks.
Yes, I can see that. But you think that there's I appreciate that I think we're in agreement that England Proud is oh a waste bin of humanity. Uh, and I hope we can agree that the foulness in the nodes and the places of power must be cleared. It's wrong. I think that's clear. Or
So
is that clear?
yeah, you see that she like composes herself quickly, but she doesn't quite know what you're talking about. And she won't admit that, but you see it in her face.
Interesting.
I am fascinated by your work with the nodes. I would love to hear more.
You're a magician yourself, yes?
Sure.
You can't you can't feel it.
Feel what?
And George, I think she's going to try to do this intuitively. Um, will reach for Lily's hand.
Hmm.
Well, hold out a hand for Lily's hand. She's not going to grab it.
Lily will reciprocate.
And I think she's going to try to show her. Um, and I don't know what mechanics to use for this. Uh, Probably idiosyncratic vision, but it's also idiosyncratic magic, rather, but it's also kind of a mystical vision. She's trying to show Lily what it is that she felt at her initiation and, what it is that she still feels uh,
Yeah.
of the rot.
So I think, yeah, so interesting. I don't know that we have a mechanic that does exactly this, but I think that maybe it makes sense that you use your spirit guide because they have the ability
Mm.
to transfer impressions and things like that. Maybe just a 4 point glamour test for your spirit guide to transfer some of that vision to her.
Yeah, let's do it. So I'll spend three and roll. Characters is the thing that I'm looking for. Do, do, do. Four. Woo!
All right.
Squeaking by.
So, okay, so you're sharing some of the visions that you had in your initiation with her, um,
Mhm.
the darkness that you felt. How will she react to that? Okay, let's go back to Jack for a bit, and I'll think about how she might react to that. Um,
Yeah.
okay, so
At
Owen,
this point,
oh yeah,
I'd actually like to have my spirit guide start transmitting impressions of what I'm seeing and experiencing to Owen.
oh, interesting. Yeah, I guess they can do that. Um, yeah, okay, I think that for each instance where you do that, it's going to take a manifestation test, which is just a 4 point glamour test. Um, so what, like the first one being the passageway that's opened in the rock that you're going to climb down into?
Mhm. So 4 point glamour test, you said, correct?
Mhm.
I will spend three on that roll.
Nice. Okay.
And then that is a 7.
All right. So Owen, down in the car, you suddenly have this vision. I think you recognize it as coming from a spirit similar to your own spirit guide that shows an opening in the rock at the top of Mayon Hill. Um, and then Jack, you're going to start climbing down.
You know, why not follow through with the terrible idea?
Yeah. So the passageway, it's dark, it's sort of rough hewn through the rock, and it leads, you feel that you've descended, um, further than the hill down below the level of the surrounding ground. But eventually you come to a small chamber with a heavy old wooden door uh, leading out from it. Um, and as you come down, there is um, someone in the chamber, a little man um, who has been sitting in a sort of niche in the wall with a blanket wrapped around him. And he'll, as he hears you coming, sort of awkwardly and stiffly pull himself out of his niche and look up to see who you are. Um, and I mean, I know that you're looking for the devil. It's clear to you that this is not the devil.
Oh, I'm painfully aware that this is
Okay,
not. It's like,
just
well,
wanted to make sure that was clear.
are
Are
you
you
the
gonna, do you
are
want to
you the new greeter?
transfer, sorry, can I just ask, do you want to transfer another
Sure,
impression to Owen at this point?
sure.
All right. Do you want to spend another three?
Oh, why not?
All right.
Um, let's go ahead and roll. That's just a 4.
The dice have not been kind to any of you today. So Owen, sitting in the car, you get this vision of almost a tunnel that's opened up leading down into Mayon Hill, and then a minute or so later, a vision of this strange little chamber underneath the rock and an odd little man uh, standing there with a blanket wrapped around him. Are you still waiting for Jack?
No, I guess I'll start going up.
All right. Um, uh, so the little man will say to you, excuse me, oh, I wasn't expecting anyone tonight. Uh, are you passing through?
I need to meet someone, or meet with someone, I should say.
Oh, well, all right, all right. He just gestures to the door.
So you don't open doors for people?
Oh, well, I can open the door if you'd like. And he'll walk over towards the door.
I'll smile and say that's okay. You look like you've had a hard enough time. I got this one.
All
Might wanna
right.
might want to get out of that little nook and stretch a little bit every so often. You look kind of stiff there.
Oh, thank you for your kind advice.
I will open the door and try to send another image to Owen.
Hmm. Yeah. Do you want to spend three and roll again?
I do indeed. That is an 8.
All right.
Finally, I get a crit.
All right. So I think that the extra benefit that you get is that you what you're looking at is a floral arch. Through the door is a floral arch of small blue flowers in a clearing in a forest of tall green trees. And the crit success is that you realize before you step through that this is not hell, this is clearly fairy. Uh, and you can decide whether or not to proceed.
I am going to sigh. Say, God damn it. And I'll start trudging back up the hall, through the cavern and up the passage.
Well, the little man will call out after you, like, "Oh, you're not going through? You're not? I thought you had someone to meet."
Wrong place, Wrong person. Sorry to disturb you, but I'll probably be back. So, you know,
Uh, and as you say that,
remember that I was nice to you, please.
oh, of course, of course. As you say that, you hear a melodious voice call out to you from the far side of the open door and say, we could probably help you, Jack.
I'll pause and I'll yell up the passage. Owen, how far
Well,
up are you?
I mean, Owen must be pretty close by now, assuming that you're going to start climbing down the tunnel towards where Jack is.
Yeah, I'm on my way.
You're a better friend than I deserve.
Well, you shouldn't say that about yourself,
Just a
Mr. Taylor.
stupider one.
What was that?
I said just a stupider one.
But the fairies on the other side of the door will call out and say, "Oh, you shouldn't say that about yourself, Mr. Taylor."
Obviously, y'all haven't met me yet.
And they will
That's
say,
okay.
That's all right. Any friend of George's is a friend of ours." And they will, at this point, climb through the open door into the chamber. And you see these two quite tall, very well dressed fairy gentlemen. Uh,
I'm curious. George, have you told us about these gentlemen or described them to us?
She's told, I think, only Sybil. Absolutely, she's not told Jack. I don't. Hmm. Owen, I'll leave it up to you whether or not she would have mentioned this to you off screen. Actually, no. Truth at any price. I think she has told Owen, or at least she's like alluded to it.
all right. So, Owen, you come down into the chamber and you see, uh, as we said, Jack. There's two very well dressed fairy gentlemen and this odd little sort of medieval peasant looking guy wrapped in a blanket. And the gentleman will say, "Oh, you must be Owen. Uh, Jack, Mr. Taylor, we understand you've been having some terrible trouble, and we'd like to see if there's a way that we could help you."
Hmm. Well, considering I know where I am, what kind of bargain can you offer?
All right, we're going to cut
I
there.
punch Jack.
All right, we're going to cut there back to George for the minute. Um, so, what Lily will say to you is, it's very interesting. The darkness that you're talking about, yeah, I recognize it. It is uh, associated, I suppose you would say, with spirits that we call the children of Leviathan. They are formidable, as you say. Perhaps they can be used or worked with.
And I think George remembers the thing that looked like a child and the uh, you know, rocky outcropping and the stars and uh, I think we'll frown and say, I I'm not sure you're correct in that, Miss Lily.
And I think that we're going to end there for this week. I think that's a nice beat to finish on. Um,
Yeah.
So everyone take 1 XP, a second XP if you touched any of your keys or deadlocks. And I will end the recording and we'll do stars and wishes.